The 7 days of creation. In the beginning, there was nothing. No light, no sound, no form. The universe had not yet drawn its first breath. Darkness covered the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters, silent, yet purposeful, waiting for the moment when everything would change. Then, breaking through the infinite silence, came a voice, the voice of the Almighty, the voice that would shape reality itself. Let there be light, and light exploded into existence, not gradually, not slowly, but instantly, brilliantly, perfectly. The first day of creation had begun, and with it, the story of everything we know. Day 1, Light and Darkness. God saw the light that He had made, and it was good. It was pure, untainted, the first gift to a universe still being born. But God did not stop there. He separated the light from the darkness, giving each its place, its purpose, its time. He called the light day, and the darkness He called night. This was not just a division of brightness and shadow. It was the establishment of order. Time itself began to tick forward. Evening came and morning followed. The first day was complete. In that moment, God set the rhythm of existence. Day and night, work and rest, beginning and ending. It was the foundation upon which everything else would be built. Day 2, the sky. On the second day, God spoke again, and His word continued to shape the formless void. Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And so it was. God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under it from the waters that were above it. He called this expanse heaven, the sky that would stretch endlessly above the earth, vast and blue, holding back the waters above, while leaving space below for life to flourish. The sky became a canopy, a ceiling painted with clouds, a space where birds would one day soar and where human eyes would gaze upward in wonder. It was the boundary between the earthly and the heavenly, a reminder that God's creation has both seen and unseen dimensions. The second day ended, and the framework of the world was taking shape. The canvas was being prepared for the masterpiece to come. Day 3, Land, sea, and vegetation. On the third day, God's creative power moved again, and the earth began to take its recognizable form. Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. The waters obeyed, rushing and flowing until they formed the seas, and the land rose up from beneath solid ground, mountains and valleys, plains and hills. God called the dry land earth, and the gathered waters He called seas. And God saw that it was good. But the third day was not finished. The bare earth needed more. It needed life. Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit in, which is their seed, each according to its kind. And suddenly, where there had been only barren soil, green began to emerge. Grass pushed through the earth, trees stretched toward the sky, their branches spreading wide. Flowers bloomed in colors not yet seen by any eye. Gardens of beauty and abundance covered the land. This was the first form of life not conscious, not mobile, but alive nonetheless. The earth was no longer dead rock. It was a living system, breathing, growing, preparing to sustain all that would come after. God looked at the land covered in green, at the seas, teeming with potential, and He saw that it was good. The third day came to an end. Day 4, sun, moon, and stars. On the fourth day, God turned His attention to the expanse of heaven. He had made on the second day. It was time to fill it with lights. Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, countless billions of them, scattered across the darkness. Like diamonds on velvet, the sun blazed into existence, its warmth reaching down to the earth below, giving energy and life. The moon began its gentle orbit, reflecting the sun's glory, marking the passing of months with its phases, and the stars, those distant fires, took their places in the vast cosmic dance, forming patterns that would guide travelers and inspire poets for millennia to come. These lights were not just for beauty, though they were beautiful beyond measure. They were timekeepers, marking seasons for planting and harvest, days for work, and nights for rest. They were signs pointing to the faithfulness of the Creator, who set them in their courses. The fourth day ended, and the heavens declared the glory of God. The sky told of his handiwork. Day 5, sea creatures and birds. On the fifth day, God's creative word brought forth a new kind of life creatures that moved, that swam, that flew. Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. And the waters came alive. Great sea creatures, whales and dolphins, fish of every shape and color filled the oceans. In the depths and in the shallows, life burst forth in abundance. Schools of fish moved as one. Coral reefs began their slow growth, and the seas became teeming nurseries of life. Above, the sky was suddenly filled with wings. Birds of every kind took flight, eagles soaring on powerful wings, sparrows darting through the air, swans gliding across the waters. The air was filled with song, with the calls and cries of creatures, experiencing the gift of movement, the gift of freedom. For the first time, God blessed his creation with words. Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. This was an invitation to life to expand, to reproduce, to fill every corner of the earth and sea and sky. God was not creating a static museum piece. He was creating a dynamic, living, growing world. Evening came and morning followed. The fifth day was complete. Day 6, land, animals, and humanity. The sixth day dawned, and God's work reached its climax. First, he spoke to the earth again. Let the earth bring forth living creatures, according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things and beasts of the earth, according to their kinds. And so it was. The land came alive with movement. Cattle grazed in the fields. Wild animals roamed the forests and plains. Lions and bears, deer and rabbits, creatures great and small. The earth was now fully inhabited, every ecological niche filled with life suited perfectly to its environment. But God was not finished. There was one more creation to make, one final act that would complete his work. Then God said, and note the change in his words, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. This was different. This was special. God was creating something that bore his own image. He formed man from the dust of the ground, the same earth that produced plants and trees. But then he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. God created them male and female, both bearing the divine image, both reflecting his glory in unique ways. To these image bearers, God gave a mandate. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over every living thing. This was not a license for exploitation, but a sacred trust. They were to rule as God rules, with wisdom, with care, with love. They were to be stewards, not tyrants, gardeners, not destroyers. God provided for them abundantly. Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. Everything they needed was provided. They lacked nothing. God looked at everything he had made, the light and darkness, sky and sea, land and vegetation, sun and moon and stars, fish and birds, animals and humanity, and behold, it was very good. Not just good, but very good, perfect, complete, exactly as it should be. The sixth day ended, and creation was finished. Day 7 rest. On the seventh day, God's work of creation was complete, and on the seventh day, God rested from all his work that he had done. This was not rest from exhaustion. God does not grow weary. This was ceremonial rest, a divine pause to admire and enjoy what had been made. It was a statement: the work is finished. It is complete. It is good. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy because on it he rested from all his work of creation. He set it apart, made it different from the other 6 days. This day of rest would become a gift to humanity, a reminder that we are not defined by our productivity, that there is sacred value in stopping, in reflection, in worship. The creation week was complete. From nothing, God had spoken everything into existence. From chaos, he had brought order. From darkness, he had brought light. From emptiness, he had brought abundance. The story of creation is not just ancient history. It is the foundation of everything we know and are. Every breath we take is a gift from the God who breathed life into dust. Every sunrise echoes that first command, "Let there be light." Every living thing testifies to a creator who delights in life, in beauty, in diversity. The same voice that spoke worlds into existence still speaks today. The same creative power that formed mountains and painted sunsets still works in human hearts, bringing order from chaos, light from darkness, life from death. God's creation is ongoing. It continues in you, in me, in every generation, right now.